So I'm going to show you a variety of tools, and there's no sales pitch at the end, none. So for those of you just joined, I'm going to put in the PDF, but you're late. I shouldn't even do this. Jeez, I'm kidding. Anybody who knows me, I joke around a lot. So there's the PDF. When we are coaching and we're expanding our business, I want you to not try to take notes, just absorb. I'm going to do a little bit of the boring slide deck stuff. Then I'm actually going to get into some tools. I will be watching the chat. So what I'm going to do is turn off my video, turn on a slide deck just for about 5 to 8 minutes. And then what I'm going to do is walk you through just some different tools that you can use to automate your business. So let me just, oops, sorry about that. And let me, there we go. So the 5 strategies. I'm going to start before I get into the agenda. I want to just do a quick poll if I could. And if you could tell me, what type of coaching do you do? What type of coaching is your main type of coaching? I think I only give you one choice. Everybody's got to participate or I just log you off. So, okay, we're all over the place. Cool. Very, very cool. Very cool. All right, I'm going to end it. I didn't let everybody answer. So, one-to-one in person, virtually, group virtually, online interactive, which is actually a high number, peer-to-peer coaching. Awesome. Awesome. So let me go back. I want to share one more with you. So when it comes to AI, are you using any type of AI in some form of for your coaching business? Not delivering coaching, just any type. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Wow. Very cool. So 75% of you are using some form of AI. Fantastic. Now keep in mind one more. Now this is about AI coaching. Are you using AI for your coaching business? And let me just, oops, sorry about that. For whatever reason, that is not letting me do it. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Are any of you using some type of AI to deliver coaching? Put that into the chat. Okay. No, no. Give me a yes or no. Are any of you using AI to deliver coaching? No, most of you knows. Interesting. Okay. Now that's not a bad thing. Okay. All of you said no. Wow, that's really wild. Okay. So I'm going to turn on my video camera real quick because I want to make this point. I'm going to do this before I get into the agenda. You know, I saw a webinar by the ICF. You know, everyone wants to get certified by the ICF. I am not. By choice. I'm not against the ICF. They have a valuable place, but they do a lot of great research. Do you know that they did a video or a webinar about a year ago and actually proclaimed that AI coaching was more effective at the 11-month mark than human-based coaching? Now, I'm not suggesting you quit your coaching business and you go to AI. That's not my point. And then they said this on their own branded webinar. And as we all know, human-based coaching is really expensive. And I'm like, he did not just say that, did he? Now, I don't subscribe to everything that ICF says, so it didn't bother me because what we also do is we have a training element besides our coaching. Does that startle anybody? Give me a yes or no. They are literally saying AI is as effective and much more cost effective than human-based coaching. And they make money certifying human-based coaches. I was just shocked that they surprised it. That's the kind of stuff that's coming out. So what do we do with our businesses? What do we do with our businesses? So what I'm going to cover today, let me turn off my video again, as good looking as I am. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about how to scale your business. You should all have a signature framework. And I think you should, yeah, I agree with you, Gary, very much so. I'll leave it there, Gary. The secrets to building and monetizing thriving online communities. How many of you have an online coaching community for your clients right now? Yes or no? Give me a yes or no. Oh, awesome, Sherry. Cool. No. All right, Kadira. Awesome. Not yet. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and Slack is awesome as well. I use Slack with my coach. I actually have a coach that I work with. Awesome, Gail. Cool. So then data-driven marketing tactics to attract and convert more clients. I'm going to come to that. Now, some of you are probably using some form of coaching software. So some of you might look at the tools I'm going to demonstrate today and say, well, wait a minute, Tim, that doesn't apply to me. That's okay. So I'm casting a really, really wide net, okay? I'm not saying you have to do all of this. My job is to hopefully educate and how to expand your offerings with video and collaborative content. This for me is a must read. Selling the Invisible, it's kind of hard to see. Selling the Invisible by Harry Beckwith is by far one of the top 2 or 3 books I read. What he talks about is if you want to sell more services, work on your service. And I thought, well, what the heck does that mean? What it basically means is we have to be different. I have more people who reach out to me and say, I want to be an executive leadership coach. And, I've been a leader for 20 years and I'm entering the marketplace and I'm going to charge $300 an hour. I'm like, no, you're not, because it's already saturated. I said, how are you going to deliver your service that separates you? Well, I'll have an open calendar. That's all old stuff. So some of you, about 75% of you, are using AI. Awesome. Doesn't mean AI is the only form of coaching or only way to automate your business. I'll show you some different tools here. But this is a book that got my company thinking about 6 months ago. So it gives you that shift and expand. So what you do and what we did was basically training. And I thought, you know what? It's missing. I got to find a tool. So we ended up focusing on a great company by the name of Profi. We ended up using their tools for software. I say this with great humility to all of you. We just booked Microsoft as a client because of it. We actually unseated a coaching firm of 14 years. So it's not just what you do, everybody. It's not what you can do. It's how to deliver a great experience that gets clients saying, wow. Now, some of you, when I think about Gail, sorry, Gail, I said I wasn't going to use you. I'm going to use you. Gail has a lot of corporate experience with sales coaching. So in theory, she has a lot more experience I do in her field. Yet when we compete neck and neck and we're both going to meet with salespeople or sales leaders one-on-one, one of us has lost an opportunity. Now, even though she has more experience, if I have a really creative solution to deliver my services, I could win that business from Gail. Yet she has more experience. So what we have to do is think about how to differentiate ourselves. And we have to be very, very collaborative, unique, differentiating, okay? So when you think about yourself as a subject matter expert, how are you going to share that? How are you going to create video quickly? How are you going to mass produce LinkedIn connections and messaging? How are you going to mass produce LinkedIn posting in a matter of seconds that gives you an edge? How are you going to deliver actual coaching? and my good friend Daniil is on today's broadcast, and he'll put a LOL here in a second. The coaching where you don't even have to remember who you're coaching. What I was looking for was a tool that allowed me to coach, because I have all these people in group cohorts going through our courses, all that stuff that I do. But we knew a missing piece for our business was one-to-one coaching. So we chose this tool, and I'm going to give you links to all the sites here in a second. So we're going to talk about some AI tools called CoachVox. We're going to talk about how AI really works. I'm going to show you a very cool tool we're building with JotForms. We use both CoachVox and JotForms. Your signature network, signature framework. Mine is Qualms. So when I teach leaders how to coach, I have a whole program for leaders, train the trainers, questions, activities, learning projects, motivator, and supplemental coaching. Have acronyms, have a signature that stands out. We teach something coaching fear. Fear is nothing more than failure to engage and react positively. The GROW coaching model. We've all heard about the GROW coaching model. Some of you might be using it. It's a great model. Make sure you have a signature framework and that all of your thought leadership and delivery is in alignment with how you deliver your programs and your coaching. Number 3, Gail just brought up Slack. Make sure that you explore I am a firm believer, brought up by a single mom. I have a daughter who's 24. I think one of the big things with this wonderful world of DEI, which is very important, we do not have enough female leadership recognition. And Gina Bianchini is a wonderful story for all of you in Silicon Valley. She is the creator of Mighty Networks. The training is fantastic. So now think about a community. Think about a community as it relates to your niche, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Using data. I will tell you, we have garnered more business in the last 6 months using data. We use it inside the session. So how many of you are familiar with Kahoot? Kahoot? Give me a yes or no. And for those of you just logged in, if you don't participate, I just log you off. Okay, cool. Yeah, and Sherry, it is a competitor to that, but I heard that's a good tool as well. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate it here in a bit. We also use jot forms afterwards based on what we're doing. We then deliver our one-to-one coaching with a tool called Profi. So my employees will tell you, oh my gosh, Tim, we have all these tools. You know, we got to just choose one tool. Please, somebody give me an LOL after the following joke. Well, then just use one app on your phone. Just put one app that does everything for you on your cell phone. It doesn't work like that. And so what's going to happen is we have to differentiate. Yeah, Amanda, I wish too. So as we go forward, I want you to think about also video. There's some amazing tools out there. From VideoGen to Powtoon, we use Screencast. We actually use all 5 of these. So the reason I'm going to show you a couple today is video captures people, not only from creating scenes for your business delivery, but also for the promotion of your company and your coaching practice. Okay. So remember, I showed this slide already. You're a subject matter expert. You need to be using video. You need to be expanding your LinkedIn connections. Do not worry. I am not going to teach you how to ask for appointments and schedule on my calendar. Anybody get those invites every week? I'm averaging about 3 to 5 invites a day. I can help you get more LinkedIn leads. Anybody get that? Then how do we expand our LinkedIn posting, and how do we do some of our actual coaching? So when we go through this, you're going to feel, yeah, Gail, 20 times a day. It's crazy. What you're going to feel potentially a little bit overwhelmed, and that's okay. I'm going to go through these resources. So what I want to do is just make sure everybody is ready. When I show this all to you, that was 15 minutes. I told you I wasn't going to PowerPoint you to death. I'm now going to show, and I'm going to start off with a couple different tools. When you're communicating, so like Gail brought up Slack, you can do video messaging, you can do audio messaging. It's a great tool. It's not designed for coaching, but it does a great job for it if you want to use that. So there's a lot of tools that are out there. What I'm about to do is turn off the video, and I'm going to go through a lot of examples. When I'm done with each little mini demo, if you will, I want you to think about, any questions that you might have. Now, what I'm going to do is just put in, it's a simple Word document. Make sure you download that. That gives you links to what I'm about to show you. Is that cool? Everybody ready? Here we go. So I'm going to show my screen. And let me, oh, geez. Here we go. And give me 2 seconds here. I don't know why. Oh, that's why. Hold on a sec. I had a PowerPoint blocking it. I don't know why it was doing that, so I apologize. There we go. So what I'm going to do is show you and walk you through the tools that we use. This, I'm going to go in order of what's on your links, I think. So this is something called Reverb. So you're going to see this person's name here. I won't give you the last name, but this is the person at Microsoft said, oh my gosh, I've got this problem. And I basically created an audio. The reason I use this tool, it's called Reverb. It's about $9 a month. You can put this in LinkedIn messaging, which even though LinkedIn has that feature, it also creates a transcript, as you can see down here. It's also got a mobile app. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record an audio as I'm doing this video demonstration with you right now. Your voice matters. When people hear me, as you can probably tell, I need a jar of Ritalin. I'm pretty hyper. But when I'm recording, what this is going to do is when I send this message, and I just give it some name, I can now send this as a link. The link is copied. I can send it as an embed code. I can also look at the transcript. The reason I want you to think about this, this allows you, and there's a lot of tools out there that do this. I have found this to be very quick. The feedback I get from my clients when I'm not coaching and they need help, much like Krishma, who is, asking for my assistance, she said, I can't believe how fast that guy got back to me. It was so specific. And that's what separates us apart. Okay. And it's called Reverb. Okay. Reverb. You can use this in LinkedIn. You can use this with coaching. You can send it via email. And I just did one last night for the Milwaukee Brewers baseball team. It's a very quick and dirty way to let your voice come alive. Okay. Now, before I get to the next one, how many of you would like to have your brand extend 50 to 80 times a day and you set it up in less than, let's say, 60 seconds, and it gets people out there knowing what your brand is, finding out who you are, what your offerings are, download a free white paper or what have you? Just give me a yes or no. How many of you would like to have that automated? Yeah, and here's the cool thing. Yeah, Amanda, that's okay. This'll catch your eye. So I use a tool called Dripify. Dripify is a plugin. It uses the API with LinkedIn. Before anyone says, wait a minute, you just said, I do not ask for appointments. That is stylistically my approach, okay? We just launched a new thing called Approachability Coachability. I'm not going to make this into a sales pitch. But basically what I do is I have all these people have been getting these messages. So what you do is I'm going to come back to our dashboard and I'm going to set up a campaign right in front of you. I'm going to go to LinkedIn. I'm going to go to my connections. And let's say I'm going to go to filters. And what this does is I'm going to go to all filters and I'm going to look for people from Bear Science. They're a client of ours. Now I got 210 results. Let's say I want to do a marketing to them. I'm not going to. I copy the URL. I come back here. I'm going to create a new campaign. I'm going to add the leads by just adding this here. I'm just going to call it Bear. I'm going to click max so everybody gets a message from me. Then I get to choose what kind of message I'm going to send. It could be lead generation, let's connect, endorse my skills, extra profiles. I'm going to do custom campaign. I'm going to click add action, and I'm going to put message. What I'm going to do is put dear, first name, and then I'm going to type in a message here, and I'm going to save this. Now, what I typically do, everybody, is I put in a link to either a free white paper or an upcoming webinar. I never ask for an appointment. I just think it's too saturated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait, let's say 5 days. I'm going to send a second message. I want to get them to my webinar. Now, for me, that works. So think about what your enticer is, right? And so what I'm going to do is click save. I'm going to click end. And my campaign is set to go. So I'm just going to call this Bear Test. I'm obviously going to delete it. I probably average about 6 to 10 leads a week. So when I come back to campaigns, it is live. I am going to deactivate that very quickly because my friends at Bear are going to think I'm a lunatic. I'm actually going to remove it and delete the campaign. But what this does is it gives you a statistic. So I've already had 27 opens today. I have one list running, 266 people were notified. I've got about a 4% reply rate, and I just started this morning. This is on your sheet. This is something that you can automate the delivery of your program. My advice is don't go for the appointment right away. If someone doesn't know you, you haven't earned it. Get them to a webinar, get them to your website, get them to your blog, get them to your podcast. Just do that. But when you see all the people, you can see I've been running multiple campaigns. This is about $50, $60 a month. I'm telling you, you don't have to think. And what it does is LinkedIn has an algorithm. You cannot abuse it. They monitor it. I've never been shut down. So this will send about 55 to maybe 80 messages a day. That is Dripify. That is on your handout. Let me just make sure everybody has that again. Someone just emailed me. And I just put it in there again for you. There are the links. You like this? This for me, and you might be using another tool. So I only set these up like once a week. This gets me in front of a lot of people, and I use webinars. I'm doing like what I'm doing for you right now, leading with content. That just works for me. So when you're automating your outreach, it really makes a lot of sense. Feedback in the chat. Everybody's got to participate. Thumbs up, thumbs down, like it, dislike it. Let me know. Otherwise, I'm not going to go on. Yeah, it's really a cool tool. So for those of you who are kind of dormant right now, not participating, yeah, wait, Gary, it gets worse. Yeah, Amanda, I chose it for that reason too. Awesome. Yeah, it is. It does have a easier feel, and their help desk down here, the engine down here is fantastic. They're really, really responsive. So awesome. So now we're going to go to Profi. Profi is the tool that I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to turn on my video so people can just see how wonderfully sincere I am. I will tell you, a lot of you put down you're doing online coaching. It's getting bigger. We all know one of the toughest things when we coach people, yet I teach leadership coaching. We all know the objection I get, right? I would coach if I had time. It's always funny to me because how do you hire people if you don't have time to coach? If you're not coaching because you don't have time, where does the time come from to interview people? And so that's always a barrier, right? Asynchronous, journal-based, one-to-one digital coaching is starting to grow exponentially. And it can be personal, and it can be interactive, and you can develop relationships with people exponentially. So what I want to do is just show you what we're doing with Profi. So this is what got us a Microsoft project. So when I get notifications, and you see I have a lot of clients on here, aren't you happy, Danielle? And we have different clients, and then we have secure messaging. As you can see, this is where I can put in some audio messages. And I'm trying to find some people here. And so I'm trying to find, so here's a reverb right here. There's an audio message. I also use video. Now the services can be in the form of programs, sessions, packages. They can schedule right on your calendar. I use the programs. So when I'm working with people and I want to work with them in a way, let me just take this. I'm going to go to this program. I actually can go in and actually see how people are actually answering questions. So I can actually see how they're thinking. I can ask open-ended questions, multiple choice questions. I can, ask open-ended questions, rating questions. And what this does is it gives me a really good insight, and my clients love it. So now when people are done with my training, I'm providing an asynchronous relationship. As you can see, Megan's gotten going. She's 43 of 51 modules. Janice is Megan's 3 of 51, sorry. Joe is another person who just started with this 17 of 51. And so anytime somebody fills one of these out, I get a notification. So I'll get a secure messaging that there'll be a light that turns on here saying, you've got feedback waiting for you, or you've got an answer. So when you're looking for software, what's going to happen, everybody, is people's time is going down. The need to work with you virtually and asynchronously, it's going to go up. And it doesn't always require your in-person presence. Now, I think, Gail, you were one of the people who said, yes, you're doing some things online. Clients love this. And I think Gail brought up Slack. Now, this does much more than Slack, but Slack is a great tool. I use it with my coach. But when you can exchange audio and video messages, here's the secret sauce. We have a whole course called Cadence Coaching that teaches asynchronous journal-based coaching. And the whole premise of it is if I want to coach somebody, and let's say, James, I want to coach you, and you have a big meeting this Friday, and you've got to have a tough conversation with your boss. But our next meeting's the following Wednesday. It's non-calendar based coaching. And what that does is it gives you an opportunity to lead with programs. And the reason we vetted 11 coaching programs, I am not saying Profi is the best. Profi for this asynchronous coaching serves that role really well. And so I can add programs, I can add packages, I can set up sessions, they can schedule on my calendar. I don't use that feature just based on what we do. And so again, what we're doing is it also shares with you payments. Now I invoice directly, so there won't be a lot of money there, yeah. And so I can run reports, I can have my own blog, but the biggest thing for me is that I can actually engage with my clients in a non-calendar driven way. Give some thought to it. That is Profi. Now, Gary, you said you were overwhelmed, or boy, it's a lot to digest. Are you ready? It gets worse. So I'm going to come to LinkedIn. Sorry, Gary, I should be making fun of you. So I'm going to come to LinkedIn, and you're going to notice something here. You're going to see this plugin over here called Taplio. Let me get myself out of the way. I'm sure Gary just sent me a message. Thanks, Gary. So this is something that you kind of train. It's got an AI component to it. So I'm going to open Taplio. This plugs into LinkedIn. Now, what this is going to do is, if you're always wondering how people create those like carousels, you can come over here. I can create some content here. It should be in here somewhere. There we go. Let me see here. There we go. So I can have generated for you. I can create a carousel, kind of a flipping book that posts into LinkedIn. But I want to show you this real quick. You train it, it gets used to your writing generated for you. Okay. So what it's going to do is start to create some posts that are in alignment with the way you write. Watch what I'm about to do. It's very hard to see over here to the right where you see add queue. You see my cursor. My next one will be going out will be February 7th at 12 p.m. Goes out at 12 p.m. Now when I click add queue, add queue, add queue. Now keep in mind, it's adopted my writing style. And I can change the tone of that as well. Add queue, add queue, add to queue. You can see over here, the last one going out is February 8th at 12 p.m. So what that does, everybody, it's going to post things. So let me say if I want to refresh, it'll create some new posts in my writing style. And let's say one of these I want to change. So I can edit and post, it'll populate to the right. So what I can then do is say, generate an image for me that is based on this article. So it will read the article or this post, and it will create an image that represents, it's a little bit slow because we're online. And this for me has been a huge lifesaver. Yes, Gail, that's exactly what it does. Check that out. You should sign up for it based on what you're trying to do. I have a friend who's in sales coaching who uses it. So then what I can do is put post now. And I'm going to put post now. So I just posted. And that's it. And so what it does is it takes your writing style. Oh, thanks, Daniil. It's a plugin, Amanda, for LinkedIn. Okay. It's only for LinkedIn as I understand it. Okay. So that's essentially, so now it should be out in my LinkedIn. So that's Taplio. So the biggest thing I would share with all of you is you also can have a hook generator. And that will give you kind of that enticing title. So 5 steps to improve journal-based coaching. So that's going to do, excuse me, is give us some hooks. And what that's going to do is create some enticing, hooks for lack of better description. Now it's a little bit slow. Is your journal coaching stuck in a rut? Let's dive into 5 transformational. Use this hook, and then I can, set an image. I can add to some of the content over here. You get the idea. Now I'm not going to go through all these features, but this will save you a ton of time. That is Taplio. Like it, dislike it, give me your feedback real quick. And then I'm going to start to bring you into the AI world that's really easy to use. Like it, dislike it? Thanks, Gail. Yeah, Danielle, absolutely. Awesome, awesome. Okay, now I'm going to take you to a tool called CoachFox. CoachFox is a company out of Australia, and it has been developed by coaches. So I'm going to show you, I've already logged in. This is where you'll come when you log in. So my AI tool, it'll give you your own URL. You can share it. You can create a page that will share it. You can create an avatar. Basically, I call it Ask Charlie. Here's my link. So it does some of the fundamental things, okay? Client chats, and it also has statistics. So there's a lot here to unpack. So if you don't know how AI works, basically, this is the thing I wanted to show you with CoachFox. So you can actually tell it the tone and style. You can actually say your approach to helping people, your personality and tone of voice. It gives you, do you want to be a coaching style, more of a mentoring style? Okay. Empathetic or straight talking, short responses, long responses, informal, formal. And anyone knows me, this is pretty accurate for who I am, meaning I set it up this way. Jovial, I should probably put that all the way over. I don't think I've been serious since the 80s. So when you click save, then your messaging will be delivered in that fashion. So the conversation, you can create your greetings, your engagement. Here's the big one. If you happen to have content, written content, it is not, I don't think, taken audio or video yet. So you have to convert that to transcripts, okay? And so what it does is you build up that content. And so this is actually the live version of this. I need help with a coworker. Now keep in mind, I set this up in probably less than an hour. So what it's going to do, we are in an argument. The whole premise behind CoachFox is to create a persona that's close to you. So when you're away, it will actually do some of the engagement for you. And as you can see, it's pretty much in alignment with what I'm saying. How can I confront him and be thoughtful? So we actually created this. Sorry about that. We actually created this to be more for end users, not for leaders. We have a whole leadership one that I'm going to show you here in a bit. But this is CoachFox. It's about $95 a month. It is really easy to set up, and you can change it. And then once people start to engage and people ask you certain questions, what it will do. So you can see this is pretty accurate. And so what it does is it engages, and you can actually export this out and say, geez, Gail, I see that you're engaging with Charlie. Do you want to pick up that conversation, or were you satisfied? So what the whole premise of CoachFox, and again, look on your sheet, it really presents a new form of you, if you will. That's kind of the premise of CoachFox. I would encourage you to check it out. Thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm about to show you something that I think is really cool. It does not do audio voice conversations. It's only text and voice input right now. Yeah, so I could actually put, what are 2 things I can do to avoid an argument. So I actually can type that in. Daniil just asked a great question. And again, the reason I want to show this to you, I'm not saying you have to switch your business to AI, but yeah. So again, practicing mindfulness. So again, some of the things that are here are pretty accurate. So part of what you want to do is make sure that you are doing it in such a way that it represents who you are. Now, yes or no, how many of you have used chat forms? I will tell you, out of all the companies I have ever worked with, I am not sure I've ever met a more creative company than this company. I'm going to spend a little time here. I've actually collaborated with their CEO. It's brilliant what they're doing. So let's say today I want to create a form and I want to make sure you guys are all happy. So I want your feedback, right? Now, I'm not against SurveyMonkey, but we used to use SurveyMonkey. I'll never use it again. Let me come back here. So start from scratch, card form. And what this does is it allows me to do things like this. I'm building my form right now. Address, phone number. I can ask short, I can put a paragraph in here. I can put in a widget. I can put in, let's say, a YouTube link. And so what this is doing is it allows me to assemble a form, okay? Then what I can do is I can click publish. I can copy the link, or I can also give it a QR code. Pretty simple stuff, right? Now, what's interesting about this more than anything is that when I do these, and let's say I come here, I can also, let me see if I got a report here. I'm going to add a report. So when I run a group session, so some of you are doing groups, this will take a little bit of time. It's actually slow when they run these reports. But what I can do is assemble a report post group session and actually give them some ideas of how they can go about or what's actually going on. So when I'm delivering my programs, I'm actually measuring things for my clients, whether it's an individual or whether it's a whole group of people. And we actually do mass group coaching with a webinar format with hundreds of people. So what this is doing is assimilating a visual report. There's a variety of different reports. And once this report is run, which is certainly taking long, and that's mainly because we're on Zoom, what this will allow you to do is also share with your clients an open URL. They will actually see the results of your coaching when they come in. So you set this up quickly, they have a visual representation of what's actually going on in a very short period of time. That is what I basically use for some of my data, okay? Yes, so Amanda, good question. So what I just did with the Milwaukee Brewers is I just put a link in and I embedded into my Profi program. That's exactly what I do, Amanda. So what I'm going to do is put extended. I'm going to create. And what this has now got is a set of results statistically. Here's the cool thing. When I go to publish, I want this to be a public report or company access. Let's just put public. I go back, I copy a link, I come here, and it's an open URL. As the results come in, my clients can see exactly who's participating, what they're saying, and what trends are going on. That's what I'm doing with my one-on-one and my group cohorts, whether in person or online. Give me your feedback. You like it? Because I'm about to show you something similar to that they do that I think will blow you away. Awesome. Awesome. Give me feedback, everybody. I toss you right out the window if you don't participate. Awesome. Don't you love that? Yeah. Some guy you don't know is threatening to toss you out. So let me show you what they just came out. Yeah, and Amanda, that's exactly it. It's more visually appeasing. I have forgot to build some of these while I'm actually working with clients and they'll be in a breakout. I build it in two seconds. Now, they just came out with a tool that allows you to build your own AI tools. So we have built about 14 different tools. What you're looking at is what the end user sees. Okay. So what this is I'm going to engage with this. It's been tough. So this is a verticalized AI tool for career coaching. Okay. You show it, but I like it. So it's engaging. I'm engaging with the tool. Now you're going to see something that it does that I hope will blow you away. This, when I first saw it, I went nuts. Now what they're doing, so now watch below, right around her hip or her knee, you'll see something. So I give my name. Let's just put tim@aol.com. Now I'll get an export. See at the bottom? I'm actually completing an assessment. So when I do this, I'm actually completing an assessment. So as a coach, what I'm actually doing is I'm actually engaging with my clients. Here's your lifelong dream, Gail. And I'm going to stop right after this. So I'm going to send it to my boss, Gail. Here's the cool thing. Now that they have this information, completing this assessment, I really want you to hear this. The results go to the person filling it out and their boss that facilitates a coaching conversation. This is awesome for my business. So if you are coaching people and people want to know how it's going, this is perfect. So watch what's going to happen. I'm going to answer the questions. I'm actually completing an assessment. Okay. I'm completing an assessment, and you can see the percent complete below. So what I'm actually doing is I'm completing an assessment in a conversation. And the results will go right back to my boss, in this case, Gail's dream to coach or manage Tim Hagen. So these questions may not mean anything to you. They do to us because then it helps us do coaching with our clients. And that actually should be 1 to 8, so I have to fix that. I'm going to put not sure. Again, I'm making this pretty easy, but it's actually having a conversation with me, and it's actually completing an assessment as a coach. And then my client's boss can actually get this. I think it's management. And so you can set these up, and I'm going to show you my back engine here in a second. So now I'm asking questions that are germane to get there. And again, sorry, this is taking a little bit long. And so some people who have taken this with us are like, I didn't know how to answer some of these. That's okay. So I'm going to review and submit it. And now I've submitted it. So essentially, what I've just done is my avatar in this case, Luna, my career coach, is actually having a conversation with my people. So let me just take you back here for a second. The cool thing about JotForms is you can also build your own apps. I could deliver it in an app. So I'm going to take you to my list of agents. So I have some for career coaching conversations, coachability. I've got one for motivation. I've got one for coaching application, teamwork, feedback, listener. And these are very partitioned, very select, specific AI assessment tools. So I didn't want the standard AI tool. I wanted something that gave me something. So when we do this for clients, they love it because they're like, oh, I saw the result. I didn't know my person wanted to be the CEO, or I didn't know they wanted to go into data analytics or whatever the case might be. So when you are building out your practice, if you will, if you're building out your practice and you are looking for a tool to differentiate you. So if you're a life coach, you could set up, a life coaching agent, but you could embed an assessment inside of it, grabbing the first part of what I showed you in JotForms. So I've got one more thing to show you. Really cool, I think. Do me a favor. I think I got to make myself bigger here. There I am. Do you like it? That for me has differentiated us completely. So we were using CoachFox pretty extensively. This allows us to have very segmented. So our leaders will say, I got someone lacking motivation. I got someone who's struggling with listening. 3 of my people aren't great teammates. I want to see where they're at in terms of how they see their level of teamwork. They send them those links and that's it. I'm done. And it really expands what I'm doing without me always being prevalent or building these assessment tools. So let me know your thoughts, everybody. So let me just share with you a couple things. Yeah. Amanda, can I address that now? Because that's a great question. Yeah, it is a great question. So Amanda, okay, cool. Yeah, it's very cool. And building your own assessments, this tool is very cost effective, by the way. And I am certified in EQ, the Motivator, and DISC. So I make money in those ways as well. When you are one person, how do you recommend keeping track of all these tools for your service that don't work for you in your business? I do a modification of all my tools every single year of what's being used and what's not being used. Okay. Like I'm about to show you a video tool. I have like 9 video tools. I need to get rid of like 3 or 4. Part of it is for clients. Some of them will have that kind of that transactional feel like Taplio. You're not going to really see a lead come in tomorrow from Taplio. You won't see a lead from the video you create with VideoGen or what have you. So what happens is it gives you that, you've got to have some transactional, you just got to do it because, but the ones that I hold of great value are things like JotForm because it creates a really, really rich experience. And so tracking it is really, it's an endeavor. And just to share with you, Amanda, I have executive assistants, but it's basically me. So I hope that helps a little bit. So a couple more, let me just share a couple more things with you. So some of you, and let me just share, I don't know why it's, that's really interesting. Can you, boy, that is really interesting. I don't know why that's doing that. Give me 2 seconds, everybody. No, I am sharing. I don't know why that's, there we go. So can everybody see VideoGen? Somebody give me a quick yes. Okay, cool. So if you're creating videos, and I create videos for scenes, I create them for promotional. If you are not using tools like VideoGen, you are missing out. So when I click generate video, look at all the types of videos I can create. Now, I'm not going to do that right away, but let me just do a very quick one, like an explainer video. What do you want video to make? Make a video about coaching and conflict. I'll keep it really simple. So what this is going to do is generate a script. I can alter the script. And then it will ask me a couple things like who's my voice? I'm going to use Winston. I'm going to click continue. Then I can actually say, how do I want this? I want it 16:9, or I want square. I want that for YouTube. I want it to be fast paced, 5 to 15 words, or medium. So now I'm going to generate. Okay. And what this is going to do is generate it. And I'm going to create a video here pretty quickly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop share, but I'm going to share. Let me turn on my sound for the computer for you. And you'll see.
Coaching amidst conflict is essential for growth. Effective coaches navigate disagreements, turning tension into opportunity They listen actively, fostering open dialogue.
So you could download that as an MP4. I just created a video that I could even create a scene, show a scene with two people in conflict. I send it to my clients and say, how would you coach to these two people? And so what you can do once you get adept at video, use things like promo.com. This one, which is probably one of my favorite, is VideoGen. That's on your list. It is a very, very cool tool. I use promo.com. I think I put it into the, I think I listed some of my videos. Here we go. Powtoon is another one we use. Screencast, where you can do your own voiceovers. AI video is very similar to VideoGen, and then promo.com does some really cool things as well. These are all tools that you can use. So a couple more things, and I promise I will get you out of here, but just stay a little bit longer. If you have not used Kahoot, take out your phones. Take out your phones real quick. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to host this live. And I want you to just to engage. And you can scan the QR code. Now I do this in my sessions, especially for groups. I can also send it as a link. So you can go to kahoot.it, or you can scan the QR code and just join. If some of you don't get in, that's fine, but just take out your phones and just do this real quick. There's Amanda. And what I do when I do my large group things, I gamify things. I make it fun. And for me, this just creates this rich experience and a different interaction. Now, if you noticed, you haven't looked at me a lot, which is probably pleasing. But the point being is, you know, I don't do this with every session like I'm showing all of these things right now, right? So when I click start, so if you didn't get in, just bear with me. And so what this does is it allows me to engage. I can ask poll questions to see, do you feel like you're progressing towards the end of the year evaluation? This is actually from one of my clients. So you can just choose any one that you want. So 3 of you said yes, and so I go to the next question. Now what this is doing, everybody, is building a report for me that I can send in seconds when the session is over. Do you feel like you're getting adequate coaching? Yeah, Cadera, it is an educational system product. What best describes you as a duck or eagle? This is something we teach. So you can ask questions that are related to your coaching, or you can even send it to them as a link. You don't even have to do it live, and it sends a report. Then we ask open-ended questions. Who is a great teammate? We actually create a board at our clients. So if you just want to put in a bogus name, that's fine. And so typically I'll give some more answers, okay? So you can see that, and then I'll use that as a narration. So what I'm essentially doing is I'm actually creating a game. I'm creating an engagement. We do quizzes, we reward people, especially if you're doing group stuff, it's fun. But the trick is to use that data. Then after the session that's live, I use a jot form and say, here's your link. Who are you coaching? What's going on? What's been working? Give me a rating question. And my client gets all this data and they go, my gosh, you know more about what's going on inside my company than me. So last one, and I promise. So I'm just going to share my screen again. And I want to just get rid of this, and I want to just share this with all of you quickly. So this is the coaching circle. This is not live yet. If you want to join, we are going to monetize it at some point. We are creating, I told you no sales pitches. We are creating a creative coaching circle to launch in mid-January. It is a mighty network. There is no cost for it right now. What we're looking for are people to actually join us. And the reason being is this allows us to have sessions like this every single month, share best practices. I'm absolutely passionate about joining and facilitating. So it'll list out your members. We will have a feed. We can have live feeds. We can have Zoom sessions. We can have events. So if you really want to engage, and I know some of you are using a community platform, whether it be Mighty Network or maybe even Slack or Circle, we just use this just because we want to, because we just have gotten used to it. We have a couple communities. I haven't really populated this one, but I can create a discussion. So what's on your mind? I can put in a link here. I can put in a video. I can go live. I can put in a GIF, and then I can just post it. And then every one of you will get a notification if you were a member. So if you're intrigued by this, let me just share this with you. What we're essentially doing, everybody, is we are essentially creating a community to learn how to creatively coach, to learn these different tools, how to manage these tools. And so that's essentially what we're doing. I would encourage all of you to join that. There's no charge right now. I think we're going to end up charging like $10 a month or something. The whole idea is to have everybody share their best practices, not how to become a great life coach or what questions to ask or how to get leads, but more about how to deliver that experience. So if you're interested, click on that link and join us. And we're going to be doing monthly sessions like this and hopefully growing that community. But really the idea behind it is to grow the community where people are saying, I'm using this journal-based coaching, or I'm actually using this video tool. They certainly don't have to be the ones that I suggested. So hopefully you've learned how to scale your time with LinkedIn, how to generate leads in LinkedIn without asking for appointments by using a tool called Dripify. You definitely, if you want to post videos that capture people's attention, look at those video tools, especially Video Gen. I also think the biggest thing, if you're going to get into AI, make sure you're using tools that are easy to use. I have seen about 4 different tools that we've purchased. JotForm is super easy. CoachVox, super easy. Both firms, phenomenal support. Once you figure out how to use AI, then you have to strategically say, well, okay, how does this doesn't replace me, but how does it supplement me? Okay. The other thing I would share with you is using tools like Profi, is getting coaching software that can automate. And again, I think it might have been Amanda, you asked the question. It's really about how do you manage all these tools? It is tough, but if you want to differentiate yourself, and again, you didn't say this, Amanda, but it's not just getting on a Zoom call or meeting at their office for an hour. There's no differentiation there, and you could be the greatest coach in the world. So the whole concept behind creative coaching is creating that experience. That's why I love that book, Selling the Invisible. If you want to sell more service, work on your service. That is probably one of the best things that you can do. So I'm going to stop there. I know some of you, please don't log off. Do me a favor. Give me your thoughts. Was this worth your time? And oh, thanks, Kittery. Okay, thanks. Appreciate it. Thanks, Gail. I have not, Gail. And that's why we're creating that community. So join it. Awesome. And that's Kiana, that's what I want to do is open up our minds to different possibilities. Awesome. Thanks, Gary. Oh, thanks, Gail. So what we're really trying to do, and yeah, and I think some people already joined it. Okay, cool. Yeah. And so the whole concept of this, everybody, is just to really, you know, have an opportunity where we can work together. Thanks, Danil. Yep. Thanks, Gary. Yeah. And Amanda, there's some tools in there I'm thinking about getting rid of because I'm kind of a gadget guy. So awesome. So I hope this was worth your time. Reach out. Please join that community. That community will be right now, no charge. We're not going to jack it up or anything like that. We're not even ready to go live yet. I'm going to start engaging with it, sharing some best practices, video tools, things like that. But join that tool. Oh, thanks, Gail. Very nice of you. Have a great weekend, everybody. I hope this is worth your time. Appreciate it. Join that community, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.